Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
What's your, is it deemed?
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for another ATS News live stream. We are going over some new information that has come out in the Soto case. The person who is charged with this crime, as you guys know, is Stephen Stearns. He has multiple trials coming up, one regarding the murder of Soto, and the other one regarding CSAM content on his phone. Now, last live stream we did on this case, and although I know I kind of tried to explain it, people still weren't satisfied. After we go through some of the highlights and red flags that I put together, we are going to do a live reaction to the new Jenn Soto police video. So finally we get to see her on camera. And Grizzly, all credit goes to her. She put it out first, and we're just going to go through the stuff that I put together, which is around 19 minutes. And then we're going to jump into the new footage of her in a police interview. So it'll be very interesting to see her, her reactions, body language, facial expressions. We'll zoom in a little bit. And yeah, so last live stream, I kind of went through this. And how channels are being trolled and attacked by subscribers to these other channels that are much larger and coming out with these new audio files stating right there in their titles, purchased, claiming if anybody else has this stuff and they're claiming that they got it through Freedom of Information Act, they're lying. So we've been called liars. We've been called thieves. Even though this wasn't directed at specific ones that we've talked about, it's directed apparently at another channel, but it's pretty much alluded to, you can't have these files unless it came from this 3 people who purchased them. I showed you guys last week that a moderator of mine filed the Freedom of Information Act. I pulled it up on screen. I showed you guys the fileage through her Google Drive that she had sent me, which I was using to source. People have said that they weren't satisfied with that proof, and they want to know that the files came from the Freedom of Information Act filing and not these other channels or their Patreons, because these other channels have claimed people are stealing it from our Patreons and not giving us credit. So Alex Erickson, another moderator, I tried to tell you guys she has a moderator who also filed, and people weren't satisfied with that. I can actually show that right on screen too. Her email, of course, is redacted. But numerous people have filed Freedom of Information Act filings. Here's another example, separate from the one that I'm showing on the screen. The one on the screen on my community page is Alex Erickson's exchange with them. And that one is her moderator's exchange. I showed you guys my moderator's filings too. So those are 3 people, and I know that there's more who have filed for these files and are getting them without paying. So when these other channels are saying, don't listen to them if they say they're getting them, they're not, we purchase them. I mean, I don't know what else to show you guys, but they're coming in and we're getting them. through not paying. Public records, please use this link below to access public records released from the above reference case. This link will expire in 10 days. There's the files, receive them periodically, like as they're pretty much able to send them. So it's not all at once, but people are getting these files without having to pay. So just wanted to lay that out there. It's on my community page in case you guys want to inspect more. And it's unfortunate that I have to like show this stuff, but when we're being called, you know, they're lying. These channels are saying, if they're saying that, I got to turn my camera off. If they're saying that they're getting these files through this, they're lying. We purchased this. And they got audio watermarks in their interviews, basically saying like, these files were purchased from blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Please hit the like button. Like, why? Like, we get it. And other people have commented and saying, I've heard that people who are first to file pay and then the other ones don't have to. I don't know. I don't know why Florida is dealing with it this way, but when I'm sourcing this case, it's coming from the people who actually, they all moderate for me except for that one that I held up, their files that they've shared with us. So carrying on, let's get into the red flags that I've pulled out from Jenn Soto's interviews that have been released in the past week. And then once we get through that, we'll jump on and share Grizzly True Crime's video that she just put out of Jenn Soto's interview. And we'll do a live reaction.
Getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that.
There will be times when I have to pause, obviously, to kind of relay why I think this is a red flag highlighted aspect. It's not the full interview. We're only going through highlighted red flags because I know a lot of people have listened to the whole interviews and reacted. She says Stefan came into her room in the morning to grab the leash. He's going to get Madeline ready for school. He's getting ready to walk the dog. In the 900-page documents, we read through a neighbor of theirs, and the neighbor basically said that only Jenn would really walk that dog. So for this, part of the interview, for her to say that, nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, he was going to walk the dog, according to neighbors that live by and have lived near them for a while, only Jenn Soto would really walk the dog. So already the day has started off on, this is not the usual norm.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen. I don't know who it could be. But I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stefan, could have been Maddie, could have been one of my roommates.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you were reporting her missing,
yeah,
you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I know. I misremembered. I did.
So she misremembered the last time she saw Maddie. This has been something that we've pointed out numerous times. And we've been like, how do you not know when the last time you saw Maddie? The 900-page document has her written statement stating that she saw her getting dressed in the morning. Other than that, she has told media, and now she's going back to what she's told media, that she only saw her that night after the birthday party, and they talked about her gifts. So obviously another red flag. I don't think that you misremember. Of course, I know, Zoe, I was wondering the same. Is that a word? I don't think that that's a word. I'm not obviously the most eloquent speaker, but yeah, you don't just forget, I guess you could say.
Didn't see her.
Okay.
I wanted to believe I saw her, but I didn't.
Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
So she's claiming that she described, and hello, Melly, and all my moderators. Johnny, good to see you. Yes, hit that like button if you wouldn't mind. Roxanne, so good to see you. Keenly. Sorry, I kind of jumped right into things. And hello, Cindy, and everyone else. Sprinkled Donut. So not only does she say she misremembered seeing her that night, but like the officer has stated, you described what she was wearing in, the body cam footage. So we're going to get all of that information laid out too.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green.
Okay, so she says that she misremembered, and then she claims, well, I only knew what she was wearing because she laid out her clothes the night before. Here, the officer specifically asks, what was she seen last wearing? And Jenn chimes in. So Jenn in the body camera footage is acting as if she's seen her last in that outfit. Jenn isn't saying she laid out her clothes the night before and she laid out green hoodie and the black shorts. So here's another red flag in the interview. I think we already knew that it was a red flag because now she's saying that she didn't actually see her that morning. But then when she follows it up with an explanation of, well, she laid out her clothes, we reference back to this conversation in the body camera footage. And he says, what was she last seen? Very specific. And I don't think that this gives her a pass to say that she laid out her clothes the night before. That's how I know, because she could have said that in this body camera footage. He specifically says, what was she last seen wearing? And Jenn tells them a description. So for me, this whole, well, she laid her clothes out the night before just isn't a valid excuse. And it's a red flag to me.
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White. What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
Black shorts? Okay.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it ready so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home. Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it and see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's not. I remember asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that. I want her to be okay.
So here we clip in exactly what she did say in that interview. Now, we've already kind of determined that the officer might have heard her wrong. However, I have another theory after I play this.
I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
So I don't know if he's just using it as sort of a tactic move, but she says, I don't want her to come home harmed. Not that she didn't want her to come home at all.
The asthma medication, yes.
This discussion about her medications, I think, is vital as well. She goes on to explain that she needs to kind of make sure that she takes her medicine in the morning. And yet we know that morning she didn't even see her daughter. Of all mornings, she doesn't follow up to make sure that the medicine is being taken appropriately. So of all things to kind of do differently on that day, her not seeing her kind of goes against this whole conversation here about her medication.
The asthma medication, yes. The Adderall I give to her before she goes to school, and the anxiety meds, we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
Normal.
Like, how does her body react?
Fine.
Okay.
No side effects, no nothing weird. He's like,
no side effects, no nothing weird. So when we talked about the Miralax and our theories of why we think that she was given it a lot of people chimed in and said, my child has ADHD. The ADHD medication constipates them. So that's why they give the Miralax. Here, she doesn't explain that. So when she's given her ADHD medicine, the mother says no side effects. So again, it's like, well, then can we contribute the Miralax being used for her constipation, or is the Miralax being used for nefarious purposes?
we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's
and isn't it funny? She basically says like something that's not normal, like, oh, the day after your birthday. First off, it was just her birthday party. It wasn't her actual birthday. Second off, of all days to do something out of the norm, it's the day that she goes missing. So that's why it's another like, oh, how convenient. And yeah, I can't stand Jenn either. She talks about in this interview, I didn't clip that part, but she talks about how she was essayed on a date like a year before she met Stefan by some guy, and she has PTSD from it. And I heard one of those male YouTubers say, well, I feel bad for Jenn. I really, I really feel bad for her because of, that situation. It's like, of course, that's terrible, but for me, I know this sounds harsh, but shouldn't she have been even more extra vigilant and aware of, these types of things that can happen? I have no sympathy for Jenn. I really don't.
like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So, they were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had, no, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about? We sat in my room for a while, hung out. He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone.
And it's funny there because you don't call setting it back to factory mode or updating your phone resetting. She also uses the word deletion a lot, deleting. She states he needed to reset his phone, or no, not reset. It's like, did you accidentally say that? Or is that really the conversation you guys had? And it accidentally slips out.
He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long.
Where I think that they really did discuss he needs to reset his phone. But she accidentally said that and then decides to, oh, no, he needed to update it. It's like, too late, Jenn. You just kind of slipped out with the truth.
but I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update, and then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, and I just clicked the button, and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell. That...
Have you ever reset any kind of phone?
Me? I have no idea how to do that.
Okay.
Do we believe that she has no idea how to reset a phone?
Have you ever had to do an update on a phone?
I think so. On these phones, yeah. Sometimes it'll ask me to just continue on with the update. And do I remember it ever asking me to erase? No.
Got it. Okay.
But he's got a Samsung. I have Apple, so I don't know if there is a difference or not. So her phone is her lifeline. That's how she talks to all her friends.
Her phone is her lifeline. So of course, this is another red flag area. Weeks ago, probably months at this point, when we were going through that 900-page document before these audio interviews came out, there was a redacted interview with one of her close friends, her girlfriend. And her girlfriend stated she texts me every morning to say hello and good morning. And it was very odd that I didn't get a text that day. So here she's saying the phone is the lifeline. Friend confirms that she's always getting this text message in the morning, good morning, and all this stuff from Madeline. And then they try to sell us on this whole, she forgot her phone that day. And she does that from time to time, couple times a month or a week here and there. Of all days for Madeline to need to go to McDonald's early in the morning before school, which wasn't the norm. Of all days for her to forget her phone, of all days for Stefan to reset. And then she fixes her statement and says, he needed to update his phone. All this stuff is just ridiculous. Her ADHD makes her forget. However, she goes on in these conversations about her ADHD medication and how she takes it regularly, and that they watch her take it in the morning before school. When you're on this medication, isn't that supposed to kind of help your ADHD? So again, kind of contradicts things a bit. She forgets her phone because she has ADHD, but she's also on ADHD medication regularly that's supposed to help her. Hi, Debbie. I think she was making money too off of, I think so too. Off of the drugs. Yeah. Remember in one of the interviews, I want to say it was Stefan's father, maybe, Jenn was giving, or maybe Jenn admitted it herself, I think, giving Stefan her ADHD medication. So yeah, they were probably selling them or just passing it around each other. Maybe they didn't even give it to her regularly. Yeah, she has selective memory. She misremembers things. Hey, EE Caroline, good to see you. And Mary Beth, I saw your comment earlier. There's no worries for those who didn't get to go to the baby shower on Melissa Jade's channel. It was virtual. It was fun. We played games. People won prizes. Don't even worry about missing it. Hi, Kelt.
That's how she talks to any of us. She's constantly on video chat with her best friend or talking to them or playing video games with them. But she's on her phone pretty often. What exactly would you like to know about her?
So, at one point you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks. It happens a lot. Like for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Where I found her phone was on her dresser. So I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV.
Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see him or her anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stefan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom, or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically.
Our roommate, and by the way, they all pay. I feel like one roommate paid more than the other one. I'm not sure, but this roommate allegedly that's upstairs asked, I don't want to share a bathroom with a man. So can you guys let Stefan use your bathroom downstairs? And then she says, we, like including, she said, so we don't use that one. And then she says, well, Stefan doesn't. It's like, she's always throwing in this we, and then catches herself and realizes like, well, I'm not a man. So I guess that doesn't fit what I just said. And then she says, well, Stefan. So already it's like another misspeaking incident.
I've come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom.
Our roommate doesn't like sharing a bathroom with men, so she asked that we don't use that bathroom. And then she realizes that she included herself, and then she tries to backpedal.
Or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically. So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
My entire day was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready.
Wake up in the morning and get Madeline ready. But of all mornings, and by the way, her doctor's appointment wasn't even till 10 something. So she needed to get her sleep that night with Stefan there who hadn't slept there. And, it wasn't, he drove in for the birthday party and he didn't even go to the birthday party. So he drove 3 hours. Of all nights, she needed to get her sleep that night for a doctor's appointment that was at 10. Doesn't wake up and do all the stuff she's listing right now, like get her backpack ready, get her water bottle. If she's taking a lunch, get her lunch ready. Of all days, this is the day she doesn't do all the things that she's saying. She will go on to also say that she takes naps, and then when it's time to pick up Maddie, she goes and gets her. So if you're able to take a nap, why was it so important for you to get that sleep that night? Okay, Jenn, thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you. And yeah, the doctor's appointment was only blood work, right?
This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school.
And again, there's another example of her claiming that she's present and making sure that she takes her medications before school.
Take her to school, come back. I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again.
Napping and resting, but that one night she really needed to get her sleep, so she sent them to bed at 11 together.
Sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you can get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived in that apartment in Northport did she have her own bedroom, and we could afford for her to have her own room. So that was the only time she's actually had her own room. Here, she's always shared a room with me. When she was a baby, she had her own bedroom here for a few years. But once she got older and we started having roommates and all that stuff, she started just staying with me in my bedroom. Stefan, during the times that we did live with Stefan, it would be the three of us in this bed down here, down in the master bedroom. It wasn't until June of last year that we had broken up, and I said, okay, I don't want to sleep in the same bed with you. Please move upstairs. And he moved upstairs. At this point, Maddie pretty much slept with me all the time. I think I can count maybe on one hand how many times she's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone, because even
if it's only counting on one hand how many times she slept with Stefan, red flag. Never should have been even one time.
Wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, it doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you gotta sleep with me. And I've told him that. But there are times that they beg for sleepovers. Like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late. So I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like...
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part. It's because I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling into me or waking me up, or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep, because I just with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication.
And of all nights to have a selfish decision made by her, it's the night before her daughter goes missing. And yeah, lazy. I know it. It's just infuriating. And this is also after the conversation of stating that, there's time for her to nap and stuff like that.
I was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself. And I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Not comfortable with it, but also sends her anyways. This from a woman who claims that she was also SA'd on a date before meeting Stefan. And also the same woman who stated in the interview we went through last week that she doesn't like Madeline sleeping over at friends' houses because the father or a brother could SA Maddie. But, it's just so many contradictions. She even admits, I wasn't comfortable with it, but I let it happen. It's inexcusable.
Okay.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him that was my biggest fear, and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Never trust a man, but allow your daughter to sleep with this guy in the same bed. She's going to go on later in the interview and say, I thought that I could trust him. I thought that he loved Maddie the same way that I did. And then also claim that she had this whole conversation with him about her fear that it would be a Woody Allen situation. For those who don't know, Woody Allen was married to this woman. They adopted a daughter. The daughter was, very young. I think a toddler by the time they got her. There's claims that the wife confronted Woody Allen about essaying the daughter when the daughter was only around 10. And that's when this grooming and essay began between that household. He later divorces that wife. And when the daughter was old enough to get married, I believe like 18 or whatever, they legally got married. So why is she going to explain and say, I thought I could trust him. I thought that he loved her the same way that I did. And then also throw in this whole, like, my fear was that it would be a Woody Allen situation. And I thought, you better not do that to me. Doesn't make sense. Red flag.
And like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where
her biggest fear, mind you,
stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. And like, I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my, like, the logic in my head was saying, he's been in your life for 7 years, nothing's happened. He hasn't shown you anything that he's weird or that he's done or that he's interested in her or said anything about her body or talked to her about her in any specific way that.
So here's the other issue too. He hasn't said or done anything that's weird. At one point in this interview, I didn't clip it, but they talk about their sex life and what Stefan liked in the bedroom. And she said that it was basic sex, missionary. Every now and then he would ask to put it in the back door and she didn't want to. We know that he was doing that to Maddie based off the documents that we read through and the content found on his phone. Also, she describes how he had a hard time keeping an erection. So when all that should have been sort of a red flag. Like, he's not turned on when he's with me. She claims that it was because of the Adderall he was taking. But then that girlfriend and coworker comes forward in her interview and she states that the only time he was super aroused was when she was face down pretending to be dead. Yeah, if you don't trust a man, you don't allow them in your home. Yeah, in and out of their lives for 7 years too. Hi, Courtney, and everyone else who's joined. Melanie, good to see you guys. Yeah, she's worried about him falling for her daughter. Not one bit worried about SA. Yeah, just send them to bed together. And if she had these fears, that was my worst fear, a Woody Allen situation, then why are you sending them to bed together? Kind of contradicts this whole, scenario that you needed to, get good night's sleep. So you sent them to bed together. How is that your worst fear? And yet you put them in that situation and you're just saying it was your selfish reasoning. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. And the mother finding the sex torso laying around the room at his parents' house. It's kind of disturbing when you hear the ex-girlfriend, ex-coworker basically say that he liked it when she was pretending she was dead. So it seems this sex torso probably got a lot of use.
Like, freak me out. He's never said anything like that or shown me any of those signs. So I thought I could trust him, that he was safe, that he was a good guy, and that he was taking care of my baby and loved her the way I loved her. But
then why were you worried about a Woody Allen situation?
I was wrong.
Do you find it odd that it would be a month late?
The officer is talking about her period at this point in the interview. Do you find it odd that her period would be a month late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those images you guys showed me with the car, is there any more?
So the images that she was shown of her are the ones of her slumped over to the left in the car, and there's basically telling her we don't think she's sleeping.
I mean, none that I can show you right now, but yes, there's quite a few.
I don't know what you want me to say or do, or just want my daughter back.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that
So that part's redacted. He's saying, you know, when we showed you these images where we don't think that she's sleeping, obviously they're insinuating that she's not alive anymore. You didn't shed a tear. But as soon as we tell you that he's essaying her and we have proof of it on his phone, you break down. So for those in chat saying she was jealous of her daughter, for us referencing that combined with the Woody Allen comment, I think it is fair to say that her daughter sadly was her competition.
you were crying violently almost. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that was physical proof. That was proof of what was happening.
So she's claiming, well, I broke down because I seen the images and it was physical proof. Except we heard in the interviews that were written out in those documents that she didn't recognize anything in the images shown to her, and that she was claiming, or they claim that she was in denial. Now she's coming around saying like, well, I was so upset because I was shown proof. So which is it? You didn't recognize anything in that stuff, or you're so upset because now it's confirmed and it's proof? Are you crying because she's in that situation, or are you crying because you're seeing your man that you love with another woman who happens to be your daughter?
That destroyed me. Until that picture of her asleep or not asleep in the car is not proof to me until I see a body. I have hope that she's still alive. But I don't know. With what you're telling me, I'm starting to fucking doubt everything. But I can't tell you why I broke down over one, and I'm being really serious now.
Starting tomorrow, it's already started, but tomorrow there's going to be information being released between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office, is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. Okay. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay. So She's just asked why you have no reaction to us showing you images that we think that she's not alive in his car. You break down about the essay, seeing your man with somebody else who's your daughter. You say you can't explain why you're acting one way and not the other way about the situations. Now you're being told we are handing this over and they're treating this as a homicide. And your reaction is K.
A homicide.
Okay.
Because he's in jail right now for. Okay.
They redacted it, obviously, but we know that he's in jail for CSAM content. And yeah, didn't the officers say, they said that they had no plans to charge her at this moment. So on that day when they were asked weeks ago, they said that.
Okay. He's in jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, they bring up the content found on his phone and she starts breaking down again. And she's going to ask, how long will he go to prison for? And it almost seems like she's crying because she's lost him, in my opinion, not because of why he's going to prison or for Maddie. Again, that's my opinion.
But we believe he possibly has done something to Maddie. And we want to know where he would possibly go. Now, this is going to be a very difficult situation. But do you have any knowledge of what he has done with her?
I wish I could tell you, but I don't. I have no idea. Is there any more images you could show me? Having it be such the homicide makes it official for me.
Is there any more images you can show me? And you stating that it's going to be a homicide makes it that more official. Why are you crying exactly?
Is there any more images you could show me?
Yeah, then she asks again. I agree keenly. I don't know how you guys feel. I think her asking to see either images of her slumped over in the car or images from his phone that we know are just disgusting. Why does she need to see these? To me, it's almost as if she wants to relay to Stefan how much trouble they're in and what they know specifically. Tony says she's crying over Stefan. I think so too. She's crying because of being jealous for sure. I think so.
Not at this time.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much.
How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much. And then the officers end up telling her, like, well, you know, even if he's not convicted of killing her, the content on his phone is going to keep him in jail forever. And then she breaks down.
Has he tried reaching out to you from jail?
No.
Has he tried reaching out to anybody from jail?
I don't know. I talked to his dad earlier, but
yeah, to make sure that she isn't seen holding the camera during the essays, right? Definitely a possibility. Like, what other pictures? Are they any of the ones that I took? How long does someone go to jail for this? Really, Jen? Yeah, exactly. And Jazzy, I can't pull up your comment because YouTube will not be happy, but I think that's possible. And I think that kind of ties in with what the ex-girlfriend said and what the sex torso is used for. And I fear that that has something to do with him returning to the scene at 3 a.m. that night. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
He didn't share much information. I don't even, did I ask him? I can't recall if I asked him, if he's reached out to him. I don't remember his conversation this morning.
She doesn't remember the conversation with Stephen Stern's father. I wonder if that's the conversation where she tells the dad, you need to get him a lawyer. I don't know for sure.
Sorry.
Anything else? All right, we are going to check on the progress that they're making inside real quick.
Did he tell you where she's at?
No. I haven't spoken to,
And the thing is, she knows, like, it's already come out that what was found on her phone. So going back to my initial thought a couple minutes or seconds ago, like her conversation with her father, like they already had that conversation, it seems, where she says, get him a lawyer, because after she found that information out, she said that to him. So I don't know. What do you guys think? And hello, Justin, Jane, and everyone else. Good to see you guys.
Since when? Like in the hotel?
Anytime.
No, never. Like
we need to find her.
Has he ever talked about giving Maddie medication? Like any of his medication?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so, or
No.
Okay.
So they're saying, has he ever drugged her? I don't think so, no. It's either yes or no. You don't think so? And then
have you ever given her any of your medication?
She's got her own anxiety medication.
Do you double check her medication?
When we give it to her? Yeah. I make sure I grab the bottle or she grabs the bottle, but like somebody's got eyes on her, grabbing the pills and taking them. Like it's a tag team situation. She's not allowed to take them alone. So we just make sure that we gotta watch her, because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong bottle and accidentally take Adderall before bed, because that sounds like a terrible idea.
we watch her. We make sure that she's, taking the right amount and the right one. But yet that morning when she takes her ADHD medicine, you just didn't happen to watch her that morning. Of all mornings. So those were the red flags that I put together. For those who joined, I have also shown proof that people are getting these files, records, body cam footage, interviews through Freedom of Information Act and not paying $1. And now I want to pull up Grizzly True Crime. All credit to her. Has one of the first videos of Jenn Soto. And she is on camera. So let's find that. I'll pull it up. I'll zoom in as well. I have to rewind because it's still going. It's a 2-hour interview. So we're not going to get through all of it tonight. We'll continue it tomorrow night. Okay, guys. Okay, hold Officers are walking in. I am going to zoom in now. Guys, hit the like button if you don't mind. Now, I'm zooming in on Jenn because I really want us to get a good look at her. Give me a second to share my screen. So we are 55 minutes in. We usually go for an hour and a half. We'll get through as much as we can of this. Take note of the time when we stop it at 1.5 hours and continue it tomorrow night, okay? And of course, we will be pausing for fair use and giving our thoughts and opinions. I'll pull your guys' comments up as well.
Work with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and we've met Detective Smallwood from Symphony. The goal, obviously, Kissimmee Police Department's doing most of this investigation. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Our people, we have resources out there, obviously doing active. So it's kind of a joint effort. So Detective Smallwood's kind of, we're going to go read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go from there. All right.
You want me to go through the whole timeline?
Yeah, we'll start with Sunday. Take you through Sunday.
Okay. Sunday. Do you have tissue?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, grab some. So, actual tissues?
No, that'll work.
I can give you this whole roll.
So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. We celebrated with the whole family. I was at work. I just started a new job last week or the week before.
Okay. Where's that at?
Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, front desk concierge.
Okay.
I was finishing up my last day of, no, it wasn't even my last day of training. I was still in the middle of training. Sunday in the middle of training, I couldn't miss to go to her birthday party. So I went to work. It was my family all day. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stephen showed up.
At your house in Kissimmee?
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me, I don't remember. But he let me know he was there and that she was
just pausing. A lot of people are asking, is this new? Have you heard it before? This is new. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Just received it today from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. So as far as I know, it's new, right? So that's why I gave you all the little timestamps. So it's all from March 1st. The audio interview that many of you may have heard that we haven't listened to together yet, was it 11:57?
I dropped nighttime meds and she got in the shower to get ready for bed.
What meds? What does she take?
She takes hydroxyzine.
Okay. What is it for?
It's for anxiety and for sleep.
Okay.
Could she take that by herself, or would he have given that to her?
I think she took it by herself. She got home and she had already taken it.
How do you know that?
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you. Okay.
He was there when you got home? You got home, they were already at the apartment? Okay.
I don't like her taking her meds without somebody visually watching her, because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong pill. She's comfortable enough to grab the pill but I'm like, no, I need to watch you take them.
Has there ever been an issue with that in the past where she took too many or took the wrong thing? Or just like a thought in your mind?
No, just a thought in my mind, just me being hypervigilant. I want to physically watch her take her meds and watch.
She's hyper vigilant. Since when is Jenn a hyper vigilant mother? Remember, her teachers and gym teachers stated she didn't even come to the open house.
Watch her grab 2, take them. I don't ever want there to be an accident of she took too many, or my biggest fear is that she would take Adderall by accident, her daytime meds.
Got it.
I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds because I have to take meds. When I went to take my meds, I realized, oh my God, I forgot to take my Saturday night's meds, which is why I felt so weird and so abnormal and not myself Sunday while I was at work. Everyone at work noticed I was acting different and not being myself. Like I couldn't smile in front of the guests. I felt this wave of depression that I haven't felt in years. It was
of all days, she, forgets her meds that weekend. She's only in the middle of training, but yet her coworkers are able to say that she's not acting like herself. I wasn't able to smile at guests. Is it because you kind of had prior knowledge of something that might happen, maybe? Or you knew about something? Does this kind of tie into Stephen Stern's father saying Saturday before the birthday party, his son was also super anxious and very worried about something and they didn't know what? Interesting. They're both kind of, got their minds elsewhere. She blames hers on not taking her medicine. We don't know exactly why Stephen was acting the way he was.
my bipolar symptoms coming up again that I've been medicating myself for all this time. I realized I forgot to take my meds, and I said, you guys, I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds. I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep. Suggested that we all sleep together in the same bed together, but not the easiest person to sleep with. She rolls around, she punches, she kicks.
I think that's
we have a king size bed, and she typically sleeps on one side, and she'll end up on my side when we wake up.
Okay.
So I asked her, I'm like, no, please, I need a good night's sleep. If you guys can go upstairs and let me sleep. I had asked Stefan to take her to school in the morning.
We'll go to Sunday. So Sunday you took your meds. What meds, if you don't mind me asking, what meds do you take? And like, how does it put you to sleep deep? Does it help you fall asleep, or does it help regulate you? What kind of happens when you take the meds?
So they do all of the above. They make me sleepy. They help me stay asleep, and they help me function. So I'm stable all day. They only work well if I've got a good night's sleep and if I've eaten with them the night before when I take them, or the night I take them. The medication is called Geodon. Generic brand is called Ziprazidone. I took my meds, and then I told them to start getting ready for bed, to start heading upstairs and get ready because it was already almost 11 o'clock. It's past her bedtime. She needs to go to sleep. So I sent them upstairs. I think he may have come down at one point to pee before bed, and then he went back upstairs. He uses my back.
She thinks he came down at some point to pee before bed, but yet in other interviews, in the audio interviews we've listened to, she said that, and in documents we read, that he came down, she thinks, in the middle of the night. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's so much I could say. I just want to watch this with you. I'm just like, in shock. We can actually see her there and just all the things she's saying. And I'm like, it's a king bed. Why can't your daughter stay in the bed? Do you keep her safe? And she's like, I need my sleep. But her meds knock her out. My goodness. And she had 2 days off after this. I mean, get a good night's rest for 2 days off. And Maddie would have had a full week of school, right?
And she says that she's able to sleep and nap, and she usually rests during the day until she's got to go pick up Madeline. And her friend also stated that Jenn would always drop off Madeline and pick her up. Hi, Vid Inquiries. Good to see you. Oh, I appreciate that.
My goodness. So, okay, for anyone asking questions about the timing of these interviews, and like April says, I'm a little behind, but has Maddie been found at this point? So I've got a banner on the top right of the screen there just to help you along. Okay, so.
I went to sleep.
You're fine. Sunday night he came downstairs, maybe overnight to use the restroom.
Yeah, and then he went back upstairs and they went to sleep. Or, right, I think they went to sleep.
Okay.
I went to sleep. I was woken up at some time. For the longest time, I've been saying he woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I assumed he was taking her to school and getting ready for school. But in reality, I don't know what time he woke me up. The sun was out a little bit. It was still a little dark. And I was very sleepy when I got up. I was kind of drunk. But he came in to walk the dog, to put the leash on the dog and walk him.
Was the dog in the room with you?
Yes.
So did he wake you up on purpose, or was it just kind of like the causation of him opening the door and you realizing somebody was there?
Yeah, the causation of him putting the leash on the dog, because the way the dog reacted, he gets very nervous and will urinate.
Here's the other thing too, is in her written statement, she said that he came in looking for the leash. So if he has an objective to take her to McDonald's that morning because it was supposed to be something special, and take her there the day after her birthday, even though it wasn't her birthday, it was just her birthday party, and that was supposed to be something special, and they were making good time. The neighbor said that Jenn only walks the dog from what they know and see. Why is he waking her up, going in there to walk the dog? And then, like I said, in the written statement, she claims he came in there looking for the leash. I have yet to hear her say, you know, she said that he grabbed a leash or whatever just now, but I don't know. The story seems all over the place.
I went to sleep. I was woken up at some time. For the longest time, I've been saying he woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I assumed he was taking her to school and getting ready for school. But in reality, I don't know what time he woke me up. The sun was out a little bit. It was still a little dark. And I was very sleepy when I got up. I was kind of drunk. But he came in to walk the dog, to put the leash on the dog and walk him.
Was the dog in the room with you?
Yes.
So did he wake you up on purpose, or was it just kind of like the causation of him opening the door and you realizing somebody was there?
Yeah, the causation of him putting the leash on the dog, because the way the dog reacted, he gets very nervous and will urinate. If you put the leash on him too directly, you have to like be nice and talk to him. Yeah, he's a very he's a nervous dog. Yeah. So I got up to try to help him, and he said, "No, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this." And I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah." So I laid back.
Did you see that? I said, he says, no, don't, you just go back to sleep. That's interesting, thinking of the timeline and what he was actually up to. No, you go back to sleep. And she's like, okay. Wow. Okay, so, my goodness. Here we go.
Down and went to sleep. I heard noise in the kitchen, but I'm not sure who it could have been. Getting ready, but it could have been Stefan, it could have been any of my roommates. I fell asleep again, and I didn't wake up, I think, until 9 o'clock in the morning.
Did you ever leave the bedroom in that time frame?
No.
So he came in, you were kind of awoken up based on him interacting with the dog, but you stayed in bed, you didn't leave the bedroom. So if you woke up at like 9, so you never...
That morning.
Monday morning.
No.
So the last time you would have been Sunday evening?
Sunday.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
You're fine.
I want to see her.
Okay, hold on.
Take a minute. Okay?
Oh, geez. The crying face. Gotta love everyone's crying face. So he's talking about the last time she saw Maddie. So the last time you didn't see her that morning, the last time you would have seen her was the night before. And she says yes and breaks down. Are you crying because that's the last time you saw your kid? Or are you crying because you know in your written statement you stated that you saw her that morning and saw her getting dressed? And thank you everyone in chat for the kind comments. I really appreciate them.
While you take a minute, I was going to ask you earlier, has anybody reached out to you during the time that you've been investigating this, talk about that or anything else? Negative, positive, neutral?
My best friends have all been in contact with me, just trying to help me. There's like, setting up Facebook groups, flyers,
No negative interactions with the public or anything? Nobody's like reached out with tips or accusations or anything like that?
not that I've seen. I've been avoiding social media because my family's telling me to not go on.
Would you be okay with our digital people looking at your phone to verify there's no stuff coming into socials, text, things like that?
That's fine.
Do you have the phone?
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll plug it in, they'll do a forensic download of it so they have the data. That way they can go through it and say, we did receive things, we didn't receive things, here's the communications in and out, things like that, so we can verify that for you.
That's fine.
You have a password on it?
030288.
030288.
Is that a birthday?
My birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yeah.
My birthday's tomorrow. Right.
Today's the 1st.
What? I'll try to understand. But like she's now crying about her birthday being the next day. Oh my word. She's crying more about that than I've ever heard her cry before. Now we're seeing her for the first time. I'm a little bit like, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Let's go back a few seconds here. Look.
Very weird.
My birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yeah.
My birthday's tomorrow. Right.
Today's the 1st. This is the worst birthday ever.
I'm in shock. She's like, this is the worst birthday ever. Hello. I think your daughter had the worst birthday ever. She lost her life. I mean, okay, I'm just gonna read your comments to see where you guys go. I'm just like, what? Have you ever heard her cry this?
I'm not sure Jen knows, to be fair, at this point. Like, I think this is before the interview we just listened to in the clips that I edited. So I don't think that she knows that she's dead yet.
This much in your life. In all the things we've heard. Have you ever heard her cry this much? She's like, it's my birthday tomorrow? Worst birthday ever. Wow. My goodness. Damn. If I could say a phrase to Jen, it's like, read the room. Healing Art said she's so selfish. If you guys didn't see the live stream that we had yesterday with Sunny Slaughter on, please go check that out. Like, she had a lot of wisdom to share, and wow, wait till she sees this. Oh my word, because we were talking about how selfish, Jenn Soto is. It was always clear as day, but it's much more clear now. She's having a meltdown over her birthday. My birthday is tomorrow. oh my goodness. Like, I can't even. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Please like and share so others can also find this information. And also just like what, I mean, I can't wait to read more of your thoughts as we watch it. If you're just joining now, this is a new interview that, you know, that we're watching that we've never seen before. And it's 2 hours and 53 minutes long. Okay.
That way they can get that going so we can get it back to you before we're out here. We don't keep it from you.
Okay.
So you said about 9 o'clock on Monday, you wake up?
Yeah. I wake up. I have a doctor's appointment. I leave sometime between 9:30 and 9:45. And I head over there. It's blood work appointment. The appointment's for 10:15, but they take a while to see me.
Where was your appointment at?
LabCorp.
Good one, Johnny.
And do you want me to tell you exactly which one?
Sure.
Oh wait, I'm on my phone.
When we get it back, we'll get back to it.
It's.
Now we're back to giggling. Like, how old is this woman? Like, she's acting like a teenager. You know? Oh my god. Pinche Becky 0S7 says, gee, but it's her birthday. It's the worst birthday ever. Oh, I can't possibly explain just how inappropriate that is. What she just said there. You know, that she's like, I mean, worst birthday ever. CSI crowdsourced Illumination said, what about Maddie's birthday? Exactly. I mean,
it's the LabCorp across the street from the Loop in Kissimmee.
Okay, got it.
Had my appointment. I finished there sometime between 11:15. Then I headed home. When I got home, Stefan was there. I had talked to him a little bit earlier while I was waiting for my blood work appointment, and he let me know, oh, I'm so sorry, I left my phone at home by accident. School, everything went great. She got up super early, got up really quick. She slept most of the way in the car. I asked her multiple times if she wanted McDonald's, but she said no. Because that was the plan, was that they were going to stop at McDonald's that morning and go get breakfast.
Okay.
He said that he had gone to the vape shop and they were closed and they didn't open. So he waited there for a while and left, and then said he was going to go back later.
ask her about her birthday again, because now she's back to the script. That's how in my opinion, she's back to the script. So now she's back to no emotion, right? Vera said, did she already find out Maddie died? No, because they found Maddie.
So here's the other thing too. Earlier when she was breaking down in the clips that I put together, and then they say, did you know about your conversation with Stefan's father? She starts talking regularly there as well. So she'll have these moments of breaking down, and then all of a sudden she's back to like just answering things normally.
Annie's body later on this day at 4:30 p.m. This interview started at this point. Nobody.
A long time. I should probably update it now. And I said, do it. Don't avoid it. Just get it over with. And he updates his phone.
I also want to point out something else that we kind of noticed. Look at her glasses. Look at Jenn's glasses. Now remember back to our whole Woody Allen competition, who her competition was, and very similar glasses. That's all I'm saying.
And then tells me, oh my God, I don't know what button I just pressed, but I just factory reset my entire phone. And I said, how the hell does that happen? That gives you options now when you reset your phone? He goes, yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate. That sucks. Later on, he tells me he's going to go back out, and I think this is around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Still on Monday?
Yes, still Monday. 12:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He tells me he's going to go back out. He's going to stop at a few gaming shops, and then he'll meet me at the house at 2:30 so we can get together. He left. I hung out in the house for a while. Was waiting for 2:30 to roll around. 2:30 rolls around, and I'm already calling Stefan, and he's not picking up his phone. 2:30 comes, I leave. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him going, I just got back home. I left my phone home again. I'm so sorry. How long ago did you leave? And I said, about 10 minutes ago. He goes, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I really wanted to go with you. And I'm just like, it's fine. I figured he wasn't going to make it because when I looked at the time when he left and said he was going to visit 3 shops, I didn't think he had enough time to visit them. He told me while he was gone that he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. The wheel just shredded and fell apart. So he was changing the tire, and it took him a really long time to do it. He said he hurt his thumb while changing the tire, like the frame or something slipped and something pinched his finger, and he ended up having to yank it out. And he said he hurt his finger.
I want to touch on something real quick. When you were calling him, he eventually tells you that he left his phone there. Did you hear the phone at the house?
No. If it was anywhere, it would have been upstairs and I wouldn't have heard it. It would have been in the guest
Do
bedroom.
you typically go upstairs?
Who, me?
Yes.
Only from doing laundry.
That was all. I was just curious if you had heard the phone when you were trying to call him that day.
I didn't. So he tells me all that. I get off.
I do have to kind of disagree, Tony, because like when I was before I got married, I actually had state insurance, which is very similar to what your options are when you're on disability. And I had every selection I pretty much wanted. I don't know if it's different there in Canada, though. Yeah, this is the Twilight Zone. They look alike and they have the same glasses. Freaky, very dark, maybe an altered life Maddie's mother lived through Maddie. Can you imagine being in love with somebody who was in love with your, like a younger version of yourself in a way?
Off the phone with him. I'm waiting. Wait for about an hour and 10 minutes. 4:04, the bell rings, and I'm waiting. I'm the first in line. And she doesn't come out.
You were in your car?
I was in my car, in the car line, yeah. At this point, it's been a few minutes. She should have been out by now, because she's usually one of the first kids out. She knows I'm in the front line. And I'm holding up the line behind me, because there's kids getting in the cars behind, and they're all waiting. They can't get around me, right? So I start calling her, forgetting that I have her phone on me. I had found her phone earlier that morning. She had left it at home. And I brought it with me because she does this often. She does leave her phone.
Where was the phone at in the house?
It was on top of the dresser in her bedroom.
Downstairs or I never been in your house.
Downstairs.
Okay.
So, just so you know, I have a 4-bedroom townhouse.
Okay.
The living room has a partition in it, a fake wall kind of thing. That's got her bedroom in it. That's got a bed, a dresser, and a desk on it. Does she sleep there? No. She'll hang out there. She'll use her computer and hang out there. That's her hangout spot. But she primarily sleeps with me every night in my bed. That's because I know the roommates wake up super early in the morning.
So what was the point of her even having a bed in that little corridor if she never sleeps in it?
Morning, they're going to be in the kitchen. They're going to wake her up if she's sleeping out in the living room. So I don't
So your bedroom downstairs, her makeshift bedroom downstairs, guest bedroom upstairs.
Yes.
Got it.
I'm just gonna pause. I'm thinking so hard because there's so many, audio interviews and oh my goodness, there's been so many documents and so much information. And I'm like, wait, when did they tell her? When did they show her the photos of Maddie in the car? When she said that's Maddie asleep in the car, and then they said that's not her asleep in the car, and she said, is she dead? I think it was on this same day, March 1st. That would have been the audio interview, which happened earlier than this one. So that is even crazier to think that at this point, yeah, then she would have heard from police that they think that she's deceased in the vehicle, and they're looking for her body. They're looking for her this press. Now there's this video. Wow. They told her that they think she's deceased in the vehicle. Oh my goodness. That was that Woody Allen thing that she also said, which, wow, we discussed that with Sunny too. Go check that out. Claudia said, I wonder what the police officers are thinking. Yes.
Right.
I wonder
themselves.
what on earth.
Yeah.
This is
where
something. So we've listened to 21 minutes so far, and the whole interview is 2 hours and 53 minutes.
I hope so, Melly.
Her phone was on her dresser. When I found it, I was like, oh my God, she's on the phone. That's great. I brought it with me to the school because I was just going to yell at her and then just hand it to her so she could have something to do on our way home. 4:10 rolls around and she's still not out, or 4:09.
And remember, in one of the interviews, she said she brought Maddie's phone with her, and then when she didn't come out of the school, she, stupidly called her phone and then realized, like, oh, she doesn't have it. I have it. What? Another weird thing.
And at this point, I'm feeling the pressure from the cars behind me. I'm like, okay, they're all full. They're all waiting for me to leave, and she's not here yet. So I take off, and I'm thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her I was picking her up from school today, because I don't know if she knew that I wasn't working. I don't know if she knew if I was off. So I asked, I don't know if I told her that I was going to get her. So I left thinking maybe she walked. That's pretty close to school. If I can't pick her up at school, that's where I tell her to. I drove the path she would have walked. I didn't see her. I got to the office. And she goes, no, it's a little too early. And I said, okay, let me go drive back down and wait along the path she would walk and just wait. And I parked and I waited. I'm not sure how long I waited. Maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. She still wasn't there, and I looked at the time and I'm like, okay, she should be back at my mom's office by now. Maybe she took a different path and I didn't see. So I went, no, she's still not here. And I'm like, that's really strange. So I call, I don't know if I text or I call. I think I text her. And I asked, hey, or I called her. I asked, and she said, no, she didn't make it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? She was dropped off close to the school. She should have been in school. She goes, no, she didn't make it to first, second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods. At some point in this, I emailed one of her teachers asking, I actually emailed a few of her teachers and 2 of them responded. One of them said, no, she did not make it to class, and I checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She wasn't in school at all.
And again, it goes back to the $1 million question. Why? You're all confused. She's not coming out. Time has passed. You've driven around a little bit. Why are you emailing the teachers? And she said she emailed a couple of them and 2 responded. So what if nobody responded? Then what would your next plan have been?
Like he sent me a screenshot of like her attendance and it said 000.
You still have that on the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Silly Kitty says the interview when they showed.
All right, guys. I just realized we're at an hour and a half mark. For those who don't know, I'm at 34 weeks pregnant. This computer chair kills my back. We usually end at this time anyways, so it's kind of perfect timing for me. Again, all this credit goes for this interview to Grizzly True Crime. She obviously has added her own take on everything. You can check that out. It's linked in the description box. Tomorrow night, I plan to give my own take on it and react to it with you guys if you want to join me. So join me tomorrow night. They did say this was 2 hours and 50 minutes. So there's a lot to go through. And I definitely want to do a thorough job. So this might take up a little bit of the week, actually. So I usually go live Monday through Friday. Join me then on my community page. I put out something for just members only, asking if you guys would be interested in watching the Wade Wilson trial. So I know a lot of people are sharing the body cam footage, the interrogation interview, the phone calls with these girls and guys that he's had. I just want to kind of start with like the facts of the case. I think a good way to kind of get the facts of the case is from watching the trial. So I kind of want to start, in the opposite direction of what everyone's doing. The trial just ended a couple months ago, and I just want to pull this up as well. Alex Erickson showing that she's obtaining these files through Freedom of Information Act for free. Her moderator also did as well. My other moderator that I showed you guys last week did as well. So these files do not have to be purchased. And no, we're not liars like we've been claimed to be for getting these files. So since we cover things 5 times a week, I want to kind of do the Wade Wilson trial. So I asked the members, they said the majority that they would be interested in watching the trial. Actually, we got 60% said yes, 40% said no. I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Put a 1 in chat if you'd be interested in watching the Wade Wilson trial. Put a 2 in chat if you're not interested. I just want to get a feel for people outside of just the members, and members, if you didn't vote on here, you can just do it in chat right now too. Yeah, hit the like button. So yeah, 1 is for the trial. So we would start with the trial stuff, and then we would go into everything else related to the case to break down as well and react to. So now that we're kind of done doing that with the Sarah Boone case, her trial isn't for less than a month. But like I said, we need cases to kind of talk about throughout the week. So if we could get in on some Wade Wilson information and conversations, I'd be interested in kind of starting there to get like my footing into the facts of the case. So I see 1, I see another 1, 1, a 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So I also made the post in my Facebook group too, asking people what they wanted. My moderator, Florida Bass Fishing, says yes. In fact, he said hell yes. Somebody said, yeah. House Huddle says his case is so interesting. So there's a lot of yeses. So I'm sorry if you were, Johnny says 5, of course. If you're one of the people that are just kind of like, no, I'm sorry, but majority rules. But again, guys, join me tomorrow night. We'll finish this. We'll continue this case. And yeah, we will talk very soon. Roxanne says 22222. Unfortunately, your vote only counts once. Love you though. But okay, guys, so join me tomorrow night. We're continuing the body cam, or I mean the video interview. So bye, everybody. And thank you again to everyone who hit the like button and who donated and all that. So goodbye.
you.